What's up, barbecue crew? Welcome back to Outdoors with Geoff. So it's really simple today. I want a steak sandwich, and I'm not talking about any thinly sliced, Philly steak or anything like that. I want a steak sandwich. So what I'm going to do is something I used to do a couple of years ago, and I don't know why I got out of the habit of doing it, but I'm gonna get back in the habit tonight. I'm going to make a ribeye steak sandwich, and really simple here, guys. We're going to season these two steaks, and we're going to season them with Heath Riles garlic butter rub. Really good rub right here. Has a lot of onion, garlic, herbs, other things in there along with that butter flavor. And we're going to come back and also hit it with Killer Hogs Texas Brisket rub, which is of course SPG, and it's got a couple other things in there as well. We're gonna hit these things both sides, get some good rub on it. And first we're going to get a good dose of oil on there, but we're going to be cooking it on the Char-Griller flat iron premium. And we're gonna cook it at high heat, and it's not gonna take long. We're gonna be monitoring the temperature with the meter, and we're gonna get it to 135 degrees internal. So that may be about 8 minutes, maybe a little bit more. But after that, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna put on that sandwich to take it over the top and show you how I eat a steak sandwich. But enough talking, let's get to the cook. So I'm starting by getting some avocado oil on both sides of the steaks. We're just gonna rub that in. I like using avocado oil because it's a high heat oil. And next I'm gonna be coming in with a good dose of Heath Riles garlic butter seasoning. And we're gonna make sure you get a good amount on both sides of these steaks here. And I'm gonna follow that up with a good dose of the Killer Hogs Texas Brisket rub. And you wanna make sure you get a good amount of this rub on here as well. It's a coarse rub, so make sure you get a good pat in on it as well. So I've got the left 3 griddle burners on, and on the right side I'm placing my cooling rack. And temperature wise, I have them on high, so we're sitting right under 500 degrees and a little over 500 degrees in certain spots. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some avocado oil on, and I'm going to follow up by taking my spatula and coming and spreading that around the hot areas of the griddle. And next I'm going to get some butter on there. Now that butter isn't going to burn because that oil is already down. So that's why I always lay down oil before my butter. And I'm also going to put another tablespoon to cover that left side of the griddle as well. And I went ahead and set up the meter to alert us when we hit 135 degrees in that steak. And that is the sound of us imparting some great flavor from a sear on this steak. We're gonna get a nice crust on there that's gonna have a lot of flavor. So at this point, we're going to let these steaks cook for about 2 minutes on each side. And we're going to flip them every 2 minutes to make sure we get a nice even cook and we don't have one side that's done more than the other. So at this point, our 2 minutes are up, and we're gonna flip. And you can see we're starting to get some good color on that side, and it's only going to get better with time throughout this cook. And in this phase of the cook, I'm going to go ahead and start using my griddle press. And you can see we've got some great color on there already. So another 2 minutes have passed, and it's time to get another flip. And you can see we're getting even better color on the other side of the steak. And you can still see we're getting a line of pink in the middle, and we're going to continue to wear that piece down as we go through this process. And at this point, we're just going to add a little bit more butter to continue adding more flavor to this cook. And we're just going to place the steaks on top of that butter. And at this point, the meter alerted us that we are going to be nearing 135 degrees and we had enough internal heat for the carryover. So we're going to remove these off of the hot portion of the griddle and place them on the cooling rack. Now at this point, I've turned one of the burners down to medium and I'm spraying my sourdough bread with olive oil. And we're going to get these on the griddle just to get a little bit of color on here. Now I like using sourdough when I make these sandwiches because of the fact that it won't get soggy and it's got a good bite to it as well. So we're going to let these cook for a couple of minutes here. And our couple minutes are up, so we're going to go ahead and get this bread off. So at this point, we're going to get the steaks back on the medium portion of the griddle, and we're going to get some Swiss cheese on there, just enough to get that cheese to melt. And we're going to slide that steak over there and get it under the dome for about 30 to 45 seconds. Keep in mind, we've already neared our internal of 135 degrees, so we're literally just doing a quick melt on this cheese. And we're going to repeat with the second steak. And at this portion, we're done with this phase of the cook. And now it's time to go ahead and move inside. So here I'm putting a good dose of horseradish sauce on here. And I just made it with a cup of mayo, 3 tablespoons of prepared horseradish, some SPG, and a good amount of hot sauce. And next I'm going to be adding some pickled red onions that I made. This is going to provide a good bit of bite as well. Afterward, we're getting the star of the show on here. Next, we're going to come back with some arugula. And let me tell you, get some arugula in your life. It'll provide a nice fresh bite to anything. And lastly, I'm going to be topping with a nice balsamic vinaigrette glaze. Don't knock it till you try it. And this is what we end up with. All right, guys, another cook in the books. Let's have a quick recap of what we did. We started with 2 1 1/4 inch thick ribeyes, and we put a little bit of avocado oil on them and seasoned them with Heath Riles garlic butter rub. And we also came back with Killer Hogs Texas brisket rub and got that on both sides. And we got it on the Chargriller flat iron at high heat, and we let it cook about 2 minutes aside until we reached the internal of 135. Then afterward, we toasted our buns and put some cheese on here, and we let them rest, and here we are. So guys, I was telling you earlier, when it comes to getting a sandwich dressed up, I like to do this one with a little bit of bite. So I made a horseradish sauce, got a little bit of spice to it too. I added some extra hot sauce in there. And for another bit of bite, I actually went ahead and put some arugula on there because it's got kind of a crisp, fresh bite to it as well. And a little bit of balsamic glaze. May not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm telling you, it makes a great sandwich for me. Make it however you like it, but enough talking. This thing smells wonderful. It's time to dig in. Now that is amazing. I tell you what, that horseradish got some bite. I think it'll bite you on back, man. But that's amazing. And even with the toasted sourdough bread, it's a thick, hearty bread that you know will hold on to that meat. The Swiss cheese is perfect on there. The other flavors all blending together well. And these are some perfectly cooked steaks. This garlic butter rub is great. I use it on a lot of things. And you even got the salt and pepper, the coarseness in that. You still pick that up a little bit. But hey, give this a try. If you want a sandwich, this is a sandwich right here. Does it look a little ridiculous? It does, but guess what? I'm gonna be full afterward. So that's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure and leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of the cook. All right, guys, thanks for watching this episode of Outdoors with Geoff. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications when more content comes out. And also check out these videos here on the channel as well.